Hello everyone and welcome to Invincible Central and our first ever video. My name's MJ and today we're going to be looking at the full run of Invincible. What I mean by that is I'm going to be showing you through my literally full run. Yeah, it's heavy. There's like what, 145 or so issues here? 146? Because it's 0 to 144 and I would include Invincible Returns in that as well, the special edition. This is my cool custom box that I made with Invincible adorned all over it. I'm actually making another one for all of the variants and spin-offs. This one is a medium-sized comic box, by the way, which pretty rare actually. When I was looking into some more storage recently, I couldn't find any more. Luckily, I had this from a long time ago. Enough jibber jabber, guys. Let's get into it. So like I said, I'm just going to be holding up the issues, showing them, and I thought it'd be a nice thing to just go through these. I'll probably just put some backing music on this and maybe highlight some of my favourite covers and that sort of thing as we go along. Otherwise, it's just going to be a bit of a show and not even tell for a lot of it. But like I say, I'll pick up on the important bits. Anyway, starting off, issue 0. This is the all-important issue number 1. My copy is, it's got a tiny dink just at the top there, but otherwise looking pretty good. Well, I know the dink will completely ruin it for some people, but I only got this like about a year ago. I bought it for £200, so it's actually the most expensive comic book I've ever bought, and yeah, it's just such a monumentous issue. This is issue 7. This had a lot of different artists work on it, and actually, yeah, my copy, this is one of my worst copies of a comic book that I have actually, that the staples are rusted. I really need to get a new copy of this. And issue 8 is another important one. This is Ryan Ottley's first issue. He obviously took over art duties for the remainder of the book. Cory Walker did fill in here and there and did individual storylines and individual stories. But yeah, this kicks off Ryan Ottley's incredibly long run. God, this book is so hard to get. Issue 10. I believe this is actually the lowest print run of the entire book. I think it's somewhere in the region of 6,000 or just under 6,000. So this is actually the rarest issue of Invincible of the normal run, not including variants. This is another low print run actually, number 11. Love the cover on this. I only got this very recently as well. In fact, I got 10 very recently too. I just completed my run like a couple weeks ago. A nice Frank Chow variant here. He draws very womanly women, which yeah, it's really cool. It's a really striking cover. Really like this one. In fact, this was, I completely almost forgot to mention then, this is actually the comic that completed my run. I actually filmed the moment I got this and slid it into my run. Sliding into those DMs. Yeah, so this is the comic that completed my run. This is the Mike Wieringo cover for issue number 16, Rest in Peace, and actually there's a couple of deceased artists that have done covers for Invincible, because you've got Darwin Cook on his Invincible Returns number 1 variant. I think it's absolutely fascinating to see the progress that Ryan Ottley makes on this book. Like, compare this to his issue 8 cover. Just the improvements and how much he develops is just crazy. It may only be a small thing, but I really love the different colour, like Invincible titles that we got. I'm a big fan of like trade dress, which I know it might sound silly, but I just love the way that comic books are put together and all the titles and everything. And the variety that this book had is amazing. And again, you see so much evolution during the course of the series. Another thing that I love about the series is, look at this cover. It's just got basically 3 civilians on the front of it with some wildlife, and well, I mean, that's not speaking about how amazing the colours are, but just what might be quite a mundane thing for some people to see, you know, so inherent, and the drama side of it is so inherent, but actually, you know, it's all drama and character development, and that is so important to Invincible. Stunning colours. Have to give a special mention to this one. 33 is my lucky / favourite number. and Angstrom Levy happens to be my favourite comic book villain of all time. Not only that, but this cover actually has got my favourite colour in as well. My favourite colour is chartreuse, which is like a yellow-green. So this cover sort of means a lot to me. Favourite number, favourite villain, favourite colour. The triple whammy. 3 times 3 times... what? No. Some trademark Ryan Otley, just carnage, destruction and damage right here. So I actually got into Invincible, well, here really. I think this was the first monthly issue that I bought. I basically bought the trade. Well, I'm actually going to do a separate video about going into detail about how I got into Invincible. But basically got the trade, thought it was great. The first trade, so the first 4 issues, thought it was great, but didn't pick it up for a few years. And then around just before the time this came out, caught up with all of the trade paperbacks, and then that's when I really started loving it. And then very shortly after reading it monthly, I just became absolutely obsessed with it, and it became my favourite comic book very quickly. Number 44 there, Anissa. God, look at the colours on that. Absolutely incredible. Wow, issue number 50. This was a huge issue, incredible issue, really good storyline, and I love that cover as well. So bold and awesome. In fact, just today I got the second print, so I know I'm not actually showing variants in this video. I do plan to do a separate video on variants one day if I ever actually get them all. But yeah, there is a variant cover there, which is really striking with the black and white, the red for the blood. Yeah, sort of had to show that. So issue 50 was actually Bill Crabtree's last issue as well. And on issue 51, FCO Placencia took over, whose colours just, they absolutely blew me away. And this run here from like 51 to like 60 is this like group of like 10 books. Just, man, some of my favourites in the whole series. I just think they were firing on all cylinders during these issues. They were absolutely incredible, and a really cool cover here from Jim Lee. And yeah, this is just the final page of this issue. I've never reacted so strongly to a final page of a comic book before than that one. So yeah, that one means a lot to me as well. I forgot to say a few issues ago as well, of course it was the debut of the new blue and black costume, so sort of the first proper costume change in Invincible history. Awesome issue this one, awesome issue this one, awesome issue that, I'm gonna stop saying that, they're all awesome issues. Oh, I love the cover so much. I categorically have to mention this issue because this is issue 60. And this is probably my favourite comic book of all time. I think this was... I mean, it was basically, Robert Kirkman said at the time he was wanting to do a big like event style comic, you know, something like Civil War from Marvel or Infinite Crisis from DC. But he wanted to do it in one comic book, and I think he totally achieved that. I think it was oversized to, I think it's 40 pages or 30 pages, and it's just absolutely incredible. The fold out cover, in fact, well, there's part of the fold out there. I've actually, well, I mean, it would be completely remiss of me not to mention this, I guess. I actually own page 1/page 2 of this comic. So, yeah, there's the actual page there. It's a little bit sun damage to the page. The page there, I mean, not the actual artwork. And then the artwork, hopefully you can see it without the glare. Yeah, unbelievable. Like that panel was just like everything I wanted, like flashing back to a scene that was so incredible. And like I say, that last page of issue 51, it kind of explains a little bit of that, doesn't it? Absolutely love it, but I'm gonna have to get this issue out. By the way guys, it is like one of the hottest days of the year here in England right now. I'm sweltering in my room right now. I'm sorry if you don't like sweaty men. Well, I mean, who likes sweaty men? Well, doesn't matter what you're into, but anyway, there's a fold out gate cover. I'm not going to be able to hold it all up in one, but there's one side of it. I mean, let's see what I can do. I've got a couple issues of issue 60. So yeah, I mean, yeah, there is sort of it. It's just, I mean, that's got to be one of the best covers of all time as well, right? Of any comic ever. Hopefully I put the full image on screen so you can actually see a high-res image of it. But yeah, Invincible issue 60. Absolutely stunning. This is one of my favourite covers of all time as well. It's absolutely gruesome, it's brutal, and when I recommend Invincible to people, I tend to mention this issue. I tend to show them the cover for this. I basically say, isn't it stupid in comics how Superman never hurts anyone? Well, look, this is what would happen if a superhero actually fought a superhero or supervillain, and it's just utterly gruesome but bright and colourful, amazing. Another nice cover here that harkens back to issue 11, like the bloody hands, and I think they did it once more as well. 110 I think was a similar thing. And now Invincible Returns issue 1. So this is the normal David Finch cover, and yeah, one of the rarest variant covers. Actually, probably the rarest variant cover is Invincible Returns. Is it 1 in 50? Variant, which is a sketch version of this cover. I am hunting it down. If you've got it, let me know. This issue is great. It's like a catch up on the series so far, and then a sort of preparations for the Viltrumite War. Right, I've been filming for 20 minutes and this is issue 71. Right, I've been filming for 22 minutes and this is issue 72, so this is halfway through the series. So this is a long video for me to film. Anyway, issue 72, part 2 of the Viltrumite War. There he is, Freddie Mercury. This is, I think, double-sized, isn't it? So this is issue 75 with just an absolutely incredible cover, double-sized, massive, huge like reveals and happenings, events. Unbelievable, incredible, incredible landmark issue. This cover is one of my favourites in the whole series. This has got Townsend inking on it, and they're just, oh god, it's incredible. Love the colouring on the text on this one. So you've got this sun, powerful sun planet in the background, and then the invincible text is actually washed out on the video a little bit with the brightness of my own real sun. It's not mine, but the sun. Yeah, oh god, it's just so well done. Again, I'm a big fan of trade dress, guys. Oh my god, I'm getting so sweaty. Oh my god. So this is of course the first issue where Bulletproof becomes invincible for a short period of time. And again, another classic trope in comics is sort of other characters taking over the mantle from other characters. So this was a really cool little section of the book. Also worth mentioning as well that John Roach is the colorist by this point. Now, his colours were completely different to the series. I actually wasn't too sure about them at first. I'll be the first one to actually say that. But actually I really came around to his colours, and he is so unbelievably talented, and the different styles that he's done over the years. I mean, don't know if you saw his recent Silver Surfer piece and Galactus piece that he did over the top of Nick Bradshaw, which is someone that he works a lot with these days. Absolutely stunning work. But yeah, again, another cover where the trade dress just really pops on this. This is worth a quick little mention as well. I believe this cover was going to be used for a trade paperback. It's got a very different style to the normal covers of Invincible. I'm not 100% sure there's any other ones like this where they're montages. Like you've got some of the Viltrumite War ones have got the bar along, which it does on a few others as well, but I'm not sure there are any montages. Correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, I think this was originally going to be used for a trade paperback, but then wasn't. Or something. I'm sure someone will correct me in the comments, right? It's definitely worth mentioning at this point that my arms are really aching as well, by the way. This is quite an intense video to film. Another thing worth mentioning here is that these were those issues where Corey Walker did some of the artwork and some of the storyline, and then Ryan Otley did the other storyline. Really liked the blend of this. Actually, it was really cool how the artists were separated by storyline, as I'm sure, like many others, I don't like it when artists change and when artists change on books, but in Invincible they just handled it absolutely perfectly. Issue 100. So there's about like 150,000 covers for this issue, but oh man, I remember exactly where I was when I read this. I actually, well, funnily enough, I went out for a meal with my friends, took them to a Chinese restaurant in Chesham, which is where my comic book store was, so I picked up my comics. Also, I was very fortunate, very lucky, because my comic book store let me pick up comics on Tuesday when they got them in. And so yeah, I got to read them sort of a day before the official release, which I know is a bit naughty, but I guess they don't really check in the UK. The comic book store isn't operating anymore, by the way, so they can't get in trouble for it. But yeah, there we go, guys. Incredible issue. Anyway, sorry, my story, my anecdote. So I was in the Chinese restaurant and I literally read this in the Chinese restaurant. I was like, I cannot own this and not have read it. It's going to play on my mind. So I read it, absolutely loved it, and then we had our delicious Chinese meal. A really brilliant cover there. I think that's actually used as some of the covers on like foreign reprinting. I think you're going to see my shininess go up and down in this video. Absolutely love this cover and this whole storyline, the changing of Robot. Oh, man, it's so cool, and it's such a cool cover. So this was another jumping on point. This was like a 25-cent issue. 25-cent issue. And as you can see, they dramatically changed the trade dress pretty much for the most of the series. Now, there was a small change in that they were white for a while. In fact, I think that issue, yep, that issue is on my shirt right there. So they were white for a while, and then towards the end, I think it was just the final arc actually, they changed to be different colours. But made the book look a bit more modern. I confess I prefer the older style of it, but this was at least bold, dynamic and different. Still maintained its utterly violent covers from time to time though. I mean, that's horrifying but brilliant. So I should say that around this point I've actually only read all of these issues like once. Now I've read or reread Invincible a couple of times in my life, but never from start to finish. Sorry, I did reread it just as the final few issues were coming out. I reread the whole thing then, so I've sort of done it from start to finish, but never in one go, and of course it's been a few years since it ended now. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading these issues that I'm slightly less familiar with again. And looking forward to remembering all of the cool, awesome stuff that happened. So here it is, guys, the start of the final arc, the longest arc in the whole of Invincible, 12 issues long, and as you can see the trade dress now, we've got some coloured text, but in the modern style. And there we have it, guys, issue 144 of Invincible, thus rounding out the series, because this is the final issue, and what a final issue it was. It just ended off the series so perfectly, and it was so brilliant. Man, and let's get the lid back on there, and there it is, guys, my full run of Invincible. And oh, the last thing I need to do is be lifting that heavy thing when I'm really sweltering on this very hot day. So I was really looking forward to starting this channel. Some people would say I've already got way too many YouTube channels, but I thought it was kind of weird that I don't have one about Invincible. Invincible is my favourite comic book of all time, my favourite thing of all time, and I don't have a YouTube channel about it. That was weird to me. And also I tried finding an Invincible YouTube channel and I couldn't find one. Now, to be fair, you know, in the last couple of years, there's not really been much Invincible stuff happening. It's not very current. But with the animated series coming out and there being news of a potential movie, you know, there's going to be news and there's going to be stuff happening with Invincible. So it'll be great to do some retrospectives, some interviews with fans, look at collections and all this sort of stuff, guys. So I hope you're looking forward to the content on this channel. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy it and you know an Invincible fan, share this video with them. I'm sure they'd appreciate that, and I bloody well would too. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.